Hey everyone, Magpie 307 here. Decided to make some wine today, so I'll do some pear wine. Pear, and I'm going to add, well, what is that? A pound of raisins. Not sure the exact weight for that. Kilo, is it? 500 grams. 500 grams of raisins. So I'm going to chop them up. I'm going to add the juice of a lemon. Well, this is a lemon, Jif lemon, same thing, it's natural lemon, so this hasn't been opened yet, so yeah, half the contents of that into well, say 1.5 gallons I'll make today. Well, there's about I think it's about £5 of apples there, or just over. Pears, sorry, not apples. Get mixed up here. Got all the tools, all the ingredients, got the sugar. I'll need 1.5 kilos of sugar, so there's 2 kilos there. I've got the scale ready, the bowl to weigh things in, and of course the blender, which I'd never used before. Normally I boil my pears, and then when they're cool enough, well, I put them in the bucket, ferment them for a while, but when they're cool enough I add the yeast and nutrients and things. So yeah, I'm heading for about 1.5 gallons today, and we'll see where I go. Never used this before, so this is going to be a bit of a hit and miss thing. So yeah, wish me luck. I'm going to mince up all these pears, and see how we go. Right, then we'll make a start. First of all, I need to chop up the pears, take the stalks off. Take the stalks out and take that bit there out, what I call a dead fly. But there we are. Right, chop them up smaller and then put them into the blender. Right, alright, I'll see you in a bit. Right, first of all I'm going to cut up the pears to a reasonable size for the blender to cope with. I'm going to drop them into the blender then, leaving the skins on and the core, and we'll see how we get on. I may have to add some water to the pears when I put them into the blender, but just to help to blend them really. Right, I'll just chop up these for you, just to show that I'm not chopping them too small, just a reasonable size. Bit easier for the blender to cope with. These are ripe pears, by the way, and we'll see how it goes. Right, next stage. Right, I've added the first few pears into the bucket. As you can see, it's come up quite a bit. Yeah, let's have a look. That'll give you a rough idea how much it is. Yeah, didn't take long to do that. First time I ever used it. So yeah, I'll carry on. Chop up the rest of the pears and mince them up and put them in the bucket. Then add the water then. Some warm water, take it up to 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 degrees Celsius or 20 degrees Celsius, and then add the yeast, and hopefully everything will start fermenting. I'll leave that run then, ferment for about 4 days, 3 or 4 days, and then transfer to a demijohn. Right, see you on the next stage. What I'm going to do now is add half of the or some of the contents of the packet of raisins in with the pears. As you can see, the pears are in there. I'll add some of these in with it to mix it up now, to blend them in, and hopefully it'll cope with it. It seems to be coping alright for now, but yeah, I'll do that. See you in a bit. Well, those are the last of the pears. I'll just put these on there now. Take the stalks off and cut out that bit in the middle there, the core, or whatever you call that, dead fly I call it. Dead fly. Right, they've all got one. So I cut that bit out and I take the stalk off. Better example there. Take the stalk off, put all the rubbish in there. I don't use that. So yeah, I'll get on with that. I'll add it to the must. And some more raisins. Right, see you in a bit. Well, that's the centre taken out and the core, the stalk taken off. I've done that with each and every one of them. So the next stage now is to chop it up and put into the blender and then add to the bucket, which you see is filling up. Right, and then I'll add the lemon juice, which I'll probably add about half of this. The lemon of I can't get my words out now. Juice of 2 lemons is required for a gallon, so I'll probably add about half of this. It's concentrated, I think, natural strength it says there, but yeah, we'll see. Right, and then add the nutrient and the yeast nutrient and the sugar and everything. It should be okay. Right, get on with this and I'll see you in the next bit. Right, the next stage now is to set the, turn that off a minute. Next stage now to set the scale. So we've it's set to 0 at the moment, but the bowl weighs something on its own. So we got 114 grams there. So I'm going to reset that. I'm going to measure the sugar. Right. Let's open the sugar. It's a bit hard, one-handed. So I'm going to attempt, no I won't. I thought I'd attempt to put the sugar in one-handed, but it would probably lose half of it all over the place, so I'll get back to you on that. I'll weigh the sugar out and add it to the must. Right, see you in a bit. Right, so there we have it, 500 grams, half a kilo. I need 3 of these, all in all, and add the lemon juice. So that'll be the next stage. I'll take the sugar over. Looking good. So I'll go and weigh the next. I'll give this a stir first of all, and I'll weigh the next. Right, see you in a bit. Put the bowl back on, reset to 0, right, see you in a bit. Right, so I'll give it a good stir to dissolve all the sugar. I'm going to make it up then to nearly 3 gallons of liquid, because as you can see the fruit, there's not much water in there, so we'll probably end up with about 1.5 gallons of wine. Yeah, so take that off there, put the lid back on, and I'll add some more warm water. Right, see you in a bit. Right, I'm going to take a temperature reading. I don't think this camera will pick it up, no, won't focus enough, but anyway it's just over 50 degrees. I put under the cold tap for a little bit, No, I don't think you can pick this up. No. But anyway, it's just over 50 degrees, and it's up to about 2.5 gallons now of water. So I'm going to take a temperature reading. Let's take the lid off. As you can see, it's all mixed up. I've added the lemon juice, and it's approaching 60 degrees now. It's increasing. Just over 85 degrees in there now at the moment. So I'll have to let that come down to, yeah, just over 80 degrees. I'll have to let that come down to about 70 degrees before I can add the yeast. Otherwise I'll kill the yeast and everything will die. Right, you can't make that out. I can see it, but the camera's not picking it up. But anyway, put the lid back on for now, let it cool off, and I'll have to add the yeast and nutrient then. Seal this. And here we are. A bit later on now I'll add the yeast. There's my yeast. It's only a cheap brand. Wilco's yeast. This camera's not picking up too good. If you can see that alright. So Wilco's yeast, wine yeast anyway, it's the one I always use, so that makes up to about 5 gallons. And then I'll be adding the yeast nutrient. Not picking up too good, is it? But anyway, you'll have to take my word for it. Yeast nutrient. There we are, it's better. Yeast nutrient. And then I'll add the Camden tablets to sterilise everything, or sanitise everything, as people say. Some people are telling me to sanitise everything, so I call it sterilising it, but some people aren't happy with that. I also bought citric acid, which I didn't need. The lemon provides the citric acid. So yeah. Pectolase. I've got pectolase there as well, which helps to break down the fruit. But I've done that already by putting it through the blender. So hopefully we'll get a good wine going soon now. So anyway, this has got to be added. Yeah, if I go into the shade, you could probably pick it up. Yeast nutrient, which is food for the yeast, and the wine yeast. So I'll be adding those as soon as I get it down to 70 degrees. Right, see you a bit later on. Just one more thing I'd like to point out is, when you're finished making your wine, wash everything before and after. Keep everybody happy. Yeah, all the equipment I used, it's all been washed and clean. Keep the wife happy, keep everybody happy. And most important, make sure everything's washed and sterilised or sanitised before your actual winemaking. It includes the bucket, the brewing bucket, and everything you use basically. So yeah, good luck everyone, happy winemaking, and I'll see you on the next stage.